Agora, para vocês conhecerem um pouco mais do autor, a gente falou um pouquinho dele agora, mas ele mandou um vídeo para nós. Vocês possam agora conhecer um pouquinho do Vale, na voz do próprio autor, Rick Joyner.
Hello, I'm Rick Joyner, and I really appreciate having the opportunity to speak to our friends there in Brazil and to those who have been working on our books, getting them into Portuguese, and really appreciate you doing that. But, you know, God has done so many extraordinary things in Brazil, and you may have some of the best worship and best of everything going on in the body of Christ there. And one place I've always wanted to go, tried to go a few times with Dan Duke, if you know Dan, and never worked out, but I so appreciate you taking the time to translate these books and distribute them there, and I do hope maybe I'll be able to follow them down there someday. But, you know, these books, both The Path and The Valley, they're connected. It's a single story. It's an unfolding saga. And it did come from prophetic experiences. And I do have kind of unique prophetic experiences. Like, I really don't know others that had them quite like I've had, but they usually start with a dream. And it's like all of a sudden I'm living a second life. I make friends in this other realm. And it becomes a saga, a journey, but it has a prophetic significance to it, a prophetic message to it. And now I'll admit, I love the prophetic. I love prophetic gifts. I love prophetic people. I love the excitement of the supernatural. I truly believe, you know, the new creation man is supposed to be more at home in the heavenly realm, the spiritual realm, than in the natural realm. And that this is something we're growing up into. And these experiences really helped me. And from the reports of those who've read these and the feedback we get, it seems to help. They help to kick other people into seeing more with the eyes of their heart. And, you know, that's what Paul prayed for in Ephesians 1, that the eyes of our heart, our spiritual eyes, would be open. And I believe that we should be really having more faith in what we see with our spiritual eyes than what we do with our natural eyes. And this is what it is to walk in faith. You know, it was by his spiritual vision that Abraham saw the city that God was building. And became so real to him. Now, he was obviously a member of the aristocracy of one of the great cities and cultures in the world at the time. He left so much behind to go wander where he didn't even know where he was going because he was so captivated by this city he had seen that God is building. And I believe true sojourners have that same faith and that same resolve and devotion where they want to be a part of what God is doing, not just men. And we appreciate what men are building and all the great things that are going on. But once you see the city God is building, nothing that man is building can ever capture your heart or even to a large degree your attention again. To the degree that maybe it did. Once you've seen the Lord, you can't be impressed with men. Once you've seen what he's building, it's just hard to be impressed with what men are building, as great as these things are. So, you know, I believe that was the effect these experiences had for me, and they didn't all just come in dreams. Sometimes I'd be sitting at my desk working, and all of a sudden it's like I'm in another place. And so I wrote down, I tried to write it exactly the way I got it, the way I remembered it. And it was, you know, so special. Even the recounting of it, to write it, was such a special time to me. And it's helped me to navigate the things I've walked through in my life. These experiences paralleled, in many cases, things I was about to go through. And I think this valley that I wrote about in the book, The Valley, it actually is the valley of the shadow of death. And I thought, who is going to want to read anything about the valley of the shadow of death? That is one of the best places you can ever go. That is one of the places. It's in the valley of the shadow of death that we get to know Jesus is our shepherd. And guess what I learned during this experience? That valley is planet Earth. You're there now, whether you like it or not. And, navigating through this valley, which is this life, and getting to do it by getting to know your shepherd better and following him more closely. And this is what that experience was for me. It gave understanding to many of the current events and all that are happening. And it just dovetailed with a book I'd written before that called The Path. It was the same people in the experience. And they're proceeding, there's a third book to come, towards, I believe, that ultimate city of God. And so anyway, I want to thank those of you who are, reading these, who've done so much work to get them published into Portuguese. And I'd love to hear from you. And Lord willing, pray for me. Maybe I'll be able to join you down there someday. But I will join you, and we will walk together on the path through the valley. And it's just the beginning, I believe, of the eternal sojourn of walking and growing in eternity that's going to be far beyond anything we could experience here, but it's getting us ready for it. But guess what? The more ready we get for it, the more we start experiencing it now, and then are able to bring it back to the earth. So I hope that you are blessed by these. And again, please let me hear from you. Any insights or any way that they touched you, or even questions that you have that may help me to be more articulate in the future ones. Thank you so much.